This is bogus. This is what hyvaa thought after the first game. In game number 2, will he be able to take the Terran player down? Starting to the bottom left on Whirlwind, we have for Soul.
Soul hyvaa.
He is cross-positioned to his opponent, who was simply outplayed in game number 1. Might go for a completely different strategy now to take down the Terran player to the top right. Starting in blue, we have
Acer Innovation.
Innovation with a crazy good game number 1. He left hyvaa no chance whatsoever. And we might actually just see hyvaa going for a really aggressive build. A lot of players, after being this demolished in game number 1, will just roll the dice and go for a timing and go for an all-in here. What is hyvaa going to do, though? He is notorious for starting with an early pool. Not really what we see in this game, but there are a lot of timings that he could use to try and finish the match early on.
Yeah, like a Roach build, for example. Roach Baneling, which you don't see all too often anymore. I mean, the thing is, any of those builds are made a little bit more difficult to execute on cross spawns, which is what we have here for Innovation, who goes CC first on the high ground because it's hyvaa. You got to be careful about that. And we saw already in game number 1, he was very keen on scouting, and as soon as he saw there was no gas, went for a fast third CC. However, in this game, if he sees this gas that hyvaa is putting out really early here before pool, I think he's definitely going to play it a lot more safely and just continue to pressure with Hellions before he takes his third base.
It was just scary. It was, like, the only word that I can really find to describe Innovation's playing game number 1 is it was scary. There was no major mistake that hyvaa made. It was not that he messed up an engagement like horribly and lost everything and didn't accomplish anything. He didn't go for an early all-in that got defended against. There were not a lot of holes in his play. He played a good game. He played a good game, and against another Terran player he might have won. But Innovation didn't even struggle for a second. He made it look silly. He made it really like an adult beating up a child. And it was really scary. I mean, as a Zerg, you look at these matches and you're thinking like, okay, like, how do I beat this guy? And this is why Innovation has such a sick win rate in this matchup. 77%? That's insanity. Against
the best players.
Exactly, at the best players at the top level in the world. He has a 77% win ratio. And that is, I mean, I have no words for this. If you have a 60% win ratio in a matchup, that's already incredible. That's like something where people say like, oh my god, he's so good. But this is absolutely, I mean, this guy is so good and it's amazing.
He's definitely got the skills, man. And just with his execution in game number 1, hyvaa's got to be thinking... He was probably considering doing a timing attack on Whirlwind because it's a pretty good map for timings, especially if you're not cross, which unfortunately for him he is. But now he's probably thinking more and more like, alright, I think I am going to do something a little bit more aggressive here because of what happened in game 1. However, he mines only 100 gas, he pulls all the drones out, and continues to drone.
The problem that he has is that it's cross-position, so that is going to slow down everything a little bit. And hyvaa will try to do something, and is actually going into a third base now at the 5-minute mark. It's just one of those games where the map itself lends... Usually you would say, okay, the map is pretty good for a Zerg player, but Innovation has shown that on a map like Whirlwind, he's actually very strong, since the late game is where he really shines. And you could see in the last game that he does not try to force the issue. If he feels that he gets an advantage, he usually sticks with that, gets a little bit farther ahead in the game, and doesn't really try to end the game, maybe overcommit and risk anything here. It was just incredible to see how he got ahead in supply. But hyvaa is a player that can definitely get a win here. In Innovation, he's not unbeatable. He's probably the best player in the Terran versus Zerg matchup right now, but he is definitely beatable. If he makes a mistake, hyvaa is a player who can capitalize on that, who can force him into submission. He just has to find an opening here, and that's going to be his biggest challenge in this game.
Yeah. Now, Innovation's getting his first few Hellions out, and is actually going to go into Banshees a little bit. So, delayed Banshee here. This is not what I expected to see from him, especially considering they cut out of gas for a while.
That's really scary, to be honest, because this is something that you don't see all that often.
And it's great for the map, because if he double expands like hyvaa is doing right now, then the Banshee might actually be able to help take out a hatchery.
Yeah, and that is one of the things that hyvaa is doing now, looking at the game and asking himself, what can I do? He's like, well, I have to take a risk here somehow. I could go into timing, into some kind of all-in and just try to end it early, or I could just take a risk, not go for a crazy risk, but I take 2 bases and I try to saturate those. I go for 4 bases right away. He might not be able to take that down, he might not even scout it, and then I try to capitalize on my better, on the economy advantage that I have. But that also spreads his army out, and that spreads his harvesters out, which will be really good for the Banshee coming in with Cloak, because it also delays any kind of detection.
Yeah, it really does. This leading group over here is going to try to catch the Hellions, and it will actually be successful. Oh no, the Hellions actually squeeze with their load. One Hellion does put down. Did not see the Banshee, I don't think. It was very close, and definitely not because he just started 16 drones. Would not have done that otherwise. Would be starting a few less number than that in Spore Crawlers to defend against the Banshee. He doesn't have anything at his 4th base. Only 1 damage queen at his 3rd base. No spores whatsoever.
This is going to hit hyvaa really hard. hyvaa is thinking along the lines, I have to defend against ground, and then I'm going to be fine. Now he's faced with the first Banshee, and of course the Spore Crawlers go up right away, and he has to rely on the queens too. But he already loses harvesters, and he is losing mining time too. So this is not going well. 4 killed so far. He might get the queen there, slowed down by the lack of creeps between the 2 bases, trying to put down another creep to him before it dies. A little bit too late. Second Banshee coming in. And this is what Innovation now uses to control the map. He can try to find the sweet spot where the Spore Crawl doesn't reach him, and he can always use those Banshees in the game to control the creep. Scan ahead every now and then, take down a tumor, and make sure that there's nothing that hyvaa can do to really move out and utilize his queens.
Yeah. Banshee's actually checking to the south here to see if there's a base. There is not, so he goes to the left, and with all the Spore Crawlers that got added, I don't think the Banshee's going to be able to do a whole lot unless they isolate units. Like drones and an extractor, or they find a queen. They're going to the main base instead. There's an Overseer morphing. Did he forget to make a spore? Did he intentionally not make a spore there? We'll find out in just a second. A big Ling run by on the other hand, going to the 3rd base, and there's not enough Hellion firepower here if he doesn't micro.
Nice move. Really nice move here by hyvaa. Innovation for a second, not attentive to the units that he had at the 3rd base, taken out. And these are things that hyvaa just needs now. He cannot sit tight and just try to defend. He needs to do something about it, and he realizes it. Goes for that 3rd base.
Yeah, goes for the 3rd base here. Zerglings do get cleaned up eventually, but he killed some harvesters.
And he took down the Hellions.
57. Yeah, killed the Hellions too, which means no more defensive Hellions, means no more map control. The Hellions can grant no run-bys.
Also, Innovation was checking the base at the bottom of the map, but he did not check to the left. So
yeah.
He does not know that there is another base. And this is one of those calculated risks that hyvaa was taking earlier on in the match. And that could very well pay off, especially with Innovation missing the scout. It could help hyvaa so much.
Bunch of Banelings morphing here. Very late on the Baneling speed because he got that 4th base, but it's going to work out for him. He doesn't need Banelings against the Banshees.
Look at the economy here. We have 73 harvesters against 60. Just a second ago, he was below 60 even. The army supply was 51 to 14, and of course, Innovation is moving across the map right now. But hyvaa has a position where he can get Zerglings and Banelings to defend against this. If he can hold, if he holds against this attack, it's not going to be easy, but if he accomplishes that, then he might be able to stabilize and get ahead of Innovation. But the army that is now making its way up the ramp is just so scary and dangerous.
He doesn't have Hellions with it, but he has Banshees, and Banshees are going to do great against these Banelings, as long as he can get rid of that Spore Crawler.
Nice, one of them taken out already. Good job by hyvaa here.
Yep, good job by hyvaa indeed.
Doesn't have speed for the Banelings, and that's a problem.
Yeah, it's about to be done. The Banshee on the defensive here actually starting to help take out some of these Banelings. And he does not get that Spore Crawler. Finally, it goes down, so the Banshee has a little bit more free reign, because even though there's an Overseer, there's no anti-air besides the Queen.
Speed is done. Keep them rolling, buddy. They are rolling already, and they're trying to go for those Marines, but we have Widow Mines now there as well, and that's what he has to be really afraid about. Innovation
down as well.
is going in, and he is once again ahead. He's going to town on that base here.
Yep, going to town on that base. The Widow Mines are poised here, and the Zergling run-by is actually going to hurt a little bit here because of the Widow Mine splash against the Marines. And that one Banshee actually looks like it may follow the Queen. Nice control at the last second. Here come the rest of those units down from the natural, and he just has a 60 army supply lead, 60 supply and army lead here.
And he has so many resources. hyvaa, that is, he can't get rid of the bank that he currently has. That base goes down, and suddenly hyvaa is on 3 bases against 3, losing that advantage that he was trying to carry into the late game.
He did not have a macro hatch this game, you know, and now he's lost a hatchery here.
Well, he had an early 4th.
That's true.
But I feel he lost queens early and he had only 2. Now he has 3. He was missing a few injects there, I feel. Another queen goes down, limiting him to 2. And Innovation is already in the main base with the double drop. He's taking down the harvesters, and he is taking down everything that hyvaa has.
Everything that hyvaa has is indeed falling here in the main base at the 3rd base. The fourth is still going strong, but it doesn't matter. Queen goes down here. There's nothing left to defend. There's a few Mutalisks, 3 of them. Fourth one off to the side here.
A single Queen is left, limiting the production. The Harvester count down to 54 at this point in time. And here comes the second wave. He's going to the left side of the map. Innovation identifying that there's another base of his opponent. hyvaa is already on the ropes. He's on the ground, and Innovation is about to kick him in the guts.
Yeah, about to kick him in the guts here. Coming over to the left side to get that fourth base. And not a whole lot of Marauders here, but 2-2 is about to finish. And that's going to put him at a huge lead here. It upgrades GG.
GG Innovation with a quick 2-0. Doesn't leave anything to chance here. hyvaa, he's trying, but there's just no way today to beat Innovation.
Yeah, Innovation
my God.
Just playing on fire like always. Good timings with the aggression. Got a fast 2-2 as well to kind of seal the deal. But before that, his engagements were so strong. And I like him keeping the Banshees alive and using those to pick off the Banelings. That really made it hard for hyvaa to engage at the third base down the ramp.
He tried to take a calculated risk here, and I really like the idea that he had and his thought process. It kind of worked already, but the problem really is that against Innovation, he did not anticipate the Banshees, and the Banshees alone put him into a really awkward position. And that was something that Innovation could absolutely capitalize on. The run by to the third base didn't do the damage that hyvaa was hoping for, and then Innovation just once again pulled ahead in the army supply, pulled ahead in the economy, and took the game.
Yeah, really solid play overall, and this is what you come to expect from Innovation. Like you said, when the game goes longer, that's when he has his strengths. In this game, it was just in the mid-game where he hit his strides, was not pressured at all, got a third base up, just kept attacking over and over and over again. The Banshees, not doing a ton of economic damage, but he picks off a Queen, hurts the Larva a little bit, then he just comes back and again picks off Banelings before Baneling speed is done. Even after Baneling speed is done, he just keeps picking them off.
It was just really well executed, and also when the Baneling speed came into play, then we already had the Widow Mines in position, burrowed right there, so he couldn't just simply roll in. If not for that, I think he would have tried to take that Bio Army out. And, well, Innovation, he just takes it with the 2-0, doesn't leave hyvaa a chance at all. And therefore, our third best of 3 for the day is already done. But we're not done yet with the day.
Yeah, we actually have a Terran versus Terran coming up next. As you can see here, Supernova against Byung. Should be a good one. Supernova, a lot of people really hoping he gets through. Byung, on the other hand, never to be underestimated.
We're going into the break right now. We're going to see you guys in 5 with our last best of 3 for the day, the Terran versus Terran. See you guys in a bit.